because there are a lot of awkward Black girls at Stanford, as you
A
know.
lot, yeah.
So it was like that was like my main audience, the core audience. And my first web series was about being Black at Stanford, the Dorm
Right.
Diaries. So there
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh, yes.
yeah, that was like, I remember hearing that someone was going to reboot it, and I was like, that's dope, but I don't know if it ever happened.
I don't know if that happened either. We have to talk about Stanford University. I
Do
was
we?
class of 2011.
Oh, snap! I did not know that.
Yeah, so I think you were a senior when I was a freshman.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought 10 was the last, because I graduated 07. So you
yeah,
were still there.
I was
damn.
there. I was 7. Yes.
Where did you live?
I lived so many different places. I lived in Larkin my freshman year.
Okay.
I lived in Suites. I lived in Mirrlees.
You lived in Mirrlees. I definitely lived in Mirrlees. You never lived in Ooge, clearly.
I never lived in Ooge.
I'm glad I didn't live in Ooge.
There was so much going on at Ooge.
It was always something on it. It was a good place to like go and then leave.
And then leave, exactly. That's the Black House for everyone listening.
Yeah.
But it was a culture shock for me coming from New York City. I was not prepared for Palo Alto. I was not prepared for Stanford.
Nobody was prepared for Palo Alto, for the record.
It's just not even a real place. But
Yeah.
how deep in the Stanford culture were you? Like, were you doing Full Moon at the Quad?
I did it once.
Freshman year?
No, I actually did it later. I was so anti when I got there. I was very
same.
immersed.
Okay.
Like, yes. Like, I came from a predominantly Black and Latino school. So I was very much in like, where's the Black bubble? Like, where am I? Where are my people at? And it was, and I was the only one. 5 people from my high school got into Stanford, and they all got put in Ooge, and I was the only one that was in Rinconada my freshman year. So I was like across campus, and I was like, this
way
is
out.
What? Like, how did y'all get this? And so I was very much, I don't know. I just didn't think it was cool, and then it wasn't until like. Maybe junior and senior, when I lived off campus. I got an apartment off campus because I was grown.
Oh, wow.
After Mirrlees, I got the bug,
Right.
And then Full Moon on the Quad, I did my senior year with some friends. We were like, we should just do it for once. And it was fun.
Can you explain Full Moon on the Quad?
I can't. You explain it. I really don't know.
It's the first full moon of the year, right? And everyone descends on the Quad at like midnight and kisses
people. Yes, and that's the thing. Mono was spreading during my freshman year, so I was like, I'm not doing this. But I participated my senior year. So I don't even know who I kissed, but shout out to him.
Freshmen have to find seniors to kiss.
Oh, so I kissed a freshman?
But I just remember seeing these like tables of mouthwash in different corners of the Quad. I was like, what is this? Like, what are my 4 years going to be like?
So you did it?
I observed.
You didn't participate?
I didn't participate.
You never participated even
I never participated, no. Because I was afraid of the germs.
I get that.
But I'm curious for you, like as a creative, I was an English major and I did the Film Society. I did the Sundance trip every year. That was my only saving grace.
I wish I participated in that. I didn't.
It's hard, right? To be a creative in such a tech heavy school. So how did you kind of find your place? I'm
actually really, really grateful that it wasn't such an art space because I really wanted to go to NYU and in visiting. One, it wasn't a campus. So I was just like, I want a campus experience. Yeah. And then 2, so many of the best artists go there. And I might have been intimidated. I might have been in my head. Whereas at Stanford, there were so many people who were like hum bio or like human biology and wanting to be doctors, wanting to be, in tech and lawyers. Right. And so there was just a wide open lane for me wanting to put on plays and direct and write. And, the camera was always available in the library. So like I could just do whatever. And people were forgiving of, because my plays weren't great at all. And so it was, I didn't know what I was doing, but I had the freedom to experiment. And then the person who was like the lead of our play was trying to be a doctor, and he could have freedom in being like, okay, I'm in the lead in this and I'm trying this out. So it was very forgiving and free, and it helped to build my confidence as an artist.
Yeah. I remember knowing that you did art stuff on campus. Like you were friends with people in Everyday People, that a cappella group. Remember Everyday People?
Yes, which I actually hate a cappella, but yes, I would support my girl in it.
Yes. And by the time Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl came out, everyone was rooting for you. Everyone was like, this girl went to Stanford.
Yes, that's right. There was, so much of the Stanford community, because there are a lot of awkward Black girls at Stanford, as you know.
A lot, yeah.
So it was like, that was like my main audience, the core audience. And my first web series was about Being Black at Stanford, the
Right.
Dorm Diaries. So there was
gosh, yes.
Yeah, that was like, I remember hearing that someone was going to reboot it. And I was like, that's dope. But I don't know if it ever happened.
I don't know if that happened either, but certainly people in the creative space of Stanford have been watching your career, you know, since you were at the school.
That's so dope to hear.
Yeah, because it's you and who? Alexander Payne? Like, those are the only...
I feel like Reese Witherspoon, didn't she go to Stanford?
Yes. I guess actresses, and Sterling K. Brown.
Sterling K. Brown,
But I think about, like,
and Ryan.
You know, writers. There's not that many.
Yeah, that's true. Writers are low-key, though, for the most part.
True.
I didn't know Alexander Payne went to Stanford.
Yeah, he did.
I need to have, like, do you go to your reunions?
No.
You checked out.
No, you know what? I'm still best friends with my roommates. We all hang out all the time. They're here in LA, but we went to one reunion and we just all hung out together. We were like, we don't have to be here.
I will say the last one I went to, not this one, maybe it was my 10-year. I talked to a girl from my dorm who was doing amazing things. Like, I've never felt so like, oh, I'm not doing anything, because she was just giving. She had a company that was giving back in so many ways, and it was also science focused. And I was like, people from this school are so impressive, and I never made the effort. So that's what it was good for. But I still hung out with my friends mostly.
Yes.